Okay, welcome to the Wrestling Angle. I am Chad Z, and we are here tonight to talk about Wrestlemania. And I have a special guest. He's been on the show before, and we did a Royal Rumble show um, right around Royal Rumble. And he has his own podcast. It's called Husky Heroes and Healthy Heroines. And it's my buddy Gary. So I'm going to switch over the screen to him and we'll get started. Hold on. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no problem. Gary and I, those of you that haven't seen the previous show, Gary and I have known each other for about 12 years. We used to work at Verizon Wireless together, and those were fun times. um, but we've always kept in touch when it comes to wrestling. And one of the big things that we do is he's one of my cohorts that goes to the local show that I promote on this show quite a bit, and that's ESW Wrestling. So that's Empire State Wrestling. Yeah, no doubt. And and that's where we've gotten to see quite a bit of the guys that are now signed by either WWE, AEW, or Impact. So, um, and we have a bunch of up and coming wrestlers coming out um, that you guys will see on the scene. One of the biggest ones right now is Bill Coyer. He is a local guy that wrestles for ESW, and he has been ESW champion twice, and he is the current independent wrestling champion. So he has been in AEW 3 or 4 times, and he hasn't won a match yet, but I think he's had a pretty good showing. So yeah, he did look good. He looked really good. And yeah, yeah, I think he's going to get signed. To be honest with you, I mean they've got guys on that roster that haven't been working as much as him and haven't really put in the grind. And this guy has really got a lot of talent, and he's got the good look too. So I'm really surprised that it has taken so long for him to get signed or even be on the main show. So, but we are not here to talk about independent wrestling. We are here to talk about WrestleMania. So, how did you want to do this, Gary? Did you want to? Um, we can start with the nights, and then we can do night one, and then we can. Okay. I'm gonna start. Oh, okay. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start at the bottom match. We'll go match by match. Oh man, my favorite Mania is WrestleMania 3. Um, I don't think there's the only thing that really comes close to WrestleMania 3 is the WrestleManias that Austin and Rock wrestled. Um, so the reason being WrestleMania 3 is my favorite is because yeah, you have Hogan and Andre, and um, It was a great match, but the best match on the card was Steamboat versus Savage, no doubt. And I'm a huge Randy Savage fan, along with Ric Flair, and so yeah. So that's my favorite Mania. What about you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 He did work a lot of heel. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that match. Hey, I just before before I talk about that, I want to welcome in Carbon 556. How you doing, buddy? I appreciate you joining us tonight. This is my buddy Gary, and we're talking WrestleMania. Um, so so yeah, the only problem that I have with that match is that it went to 60 minutes without a pinfall. I would have rather seen um, them at least have a couple pinfalls during the match. You know, they could have done where they were tied at the end, and then Brett walked. They could have done it the same way, but I just wanted more falls in the match. You know, because I think as a looking back at it now, you don't see guys go 60 minutes anymore, and I think we need to have we need to have more of those matches, and then also I just think it would have added more drama to the ending. You know what I mean? Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, yeah, and you know what? If you even go back and watch the match, there wasn't a lot of rest holds in that match. I mean, they went a solid 60 minutes. You know, not like back in the 80s when the NWA champion was going 60 minutes every night, but a lot of it was rest holds. You know what I mean? So, and I'm talking guys like Harley Race and Lou Thez and all those type of guys. Yeah, wow, McDaniel. Yeah, so yeah, we'll get into the old school stuff later on because I've got a big beef with the Peacock Network taking over WWE. I've made it pretty clear, and on previous shows, and but we'll talk about that later. I'm not gonna get on my soapbox about that right now. Um, okay, so first night. Um, do you want me to run? You want me to run down the matches and then we can go one by one? What do you think? Okay. All right. Obviously, main event is going to be WWE title match: Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley with MVP. Um, it says Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander are banned from ringside, but I doubt they're going to be down there anyways. SmackDown Women's title match: Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Raw Tag Team title match: Omos and AJ Styles versus the New Day, consisting of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Steel cage match, Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. Number one contenders tag team turmoil match, Carmella and Billie Kay, which is going to be announced tomorrow night. Lana and Naomi, Tamina, Snuka and Natalya, Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, and Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Winner advances to the title match on night 2. Then we're going to have The Miz and John Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. And then the match to start out the night is going to be Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Yeah. At least this. I had a rundown of both nights for NXT, and the site that I got it off it was right on. So I'm assuming that, and I got it off the same site. So let's start with Cesaro Seth Rollins. What do you think of this feud? And then who do you think's going to win? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Right. Okay. Okay. So my opinion of I can't stand Seth Rollins' character since he came back. Um, for the main reason that I can't stand his suits that he wears. And I know that's going to sound stupid, but he looks like a goof. And yeah, yeah. Um, as far as his I agree with you because where do you go with Cesaro? You know what I mean? He's not going to challenge for the Universal Belt. And um, you know, who's okay, so and when we get to night 2, when we're talking about the Intercontinental title match, um, it would have to be Apollo Crews that wins that match in order for them to have him go for the IC belt. But like you said, they could insert Seth Rollins in any one of the storylines. You know, although I don't want him in the title picture. I think he's had his time. Keep him in like the mid card level, for the time being, and let some of these other guys go for the belts. You know. Yeah. Yeah. They'd have to. They'd have to turn him face. And to be perfectly honest with you, Seth Rollins is a better heel than he is a face. I mean, I mean, okay, let's be perfectly honest with you. All right, so a heel, what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to make you hate them, and he's doing a damn good job. Can you hear me? Okay, okay. Something just said disconnected. Um, so he, so he's doing his job. You know what I mean? He's making me hate him, whether it may be just because of the suits that he's wearing or not. But I know that's kind of a stupid thing, as being a traditional wrestling fan, that he angers me because he was wearing these suits. But I can't help it. It just makes, as soon as I see him walk through the damn curtain, I hate him because he was wearing these damn goofy suits. And then last night during or not last night, when's was it? No, Tuesday night with the Hall of Fame inductees, he's wearing the damn fire suit. You know what I mean? Like, wear a normal suit for Christ's sake. So, I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring God into this, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you and I would, yeah, yeah. You and I would never wear a suit like that. At least I know I wouldn't. But and I know you wouldn't either. But okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I agree with you. They. I don't know where, if Cesaro wins the match. I just don't know where he's going. If Seth Rollins wins the match, he's going to be inserted into a storyline. You know what I mean? I personally would rather see Cesaro on Raw than SmackDown, and have him challenge for the U.S. belt. Yeah, that'd be a hell of a match. And but that's fantasy booking. So okay, so the next match we got the Miz and John Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. What do you think? What are you thinking about this match? Yep. No. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you really do you really think though that by having a, and I'm gonna try to, I don't want to get, but a Mexican rapper on there, I don't think that's the right way to do it, because I'll be perfectly honest with Puerto Rican. I'm sorry. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I can't stand the guy. I can't stand him. And when they put the 24/7 title on him, and then he turned around and handed it over to Truth, which goes against. Yeah, I understand the 24/7 title is supposed to be like a joke title, okay, but it goes against traditional wrestling that title should be won with a pinfall. Not necessarily in the ring, because that's not what the 24/7 title's about. But I didn't mean to cut you off, so go ahead. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's true. Um, I guess maybe, I guess what maybe bothers me the most about him is that um, I'm an old school rap type of guys. Okay, we're talking Snoop Dogg, NWA, Eazy-E, that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Dr. Dre. And maybe it is, and I'll just throw myself out there. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that I don't know Spanish. Okay, so I don't know what he's saying half the time. My daughter does, because she's taking Spanish in school, but sometimes she's got to help me out and stuff like that. But I agree with you. I think Morrison takes the fall. Bad Bunny does some dive or whatever it is. The one person that I feel bad for is Damian Priest in this whole thing, because he's been attached at the hip with this guy since Royal Rumble, and which, by the way, I don't know if you watch Raw, but where the hell was Damian Priest when he was getting his ass kicked in front of his Bugatti? You know, and how funny was it that that $3.6 million car pulled up next to a Nissan Acura? All right, I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, did anybody else catch that? Because here this guy is. He's making tons of money, and the wrestlers are on the road and they're using these rental cars, and here this guy is. He pulls up in this $3.6 million car, and he destroyed the car too, by the way. Which I hope that paint was washable paint, because I'd be pissed. But you know what I mean. I wouldn't put it past Vince with destroying. I mean, look what he's done to his own cars. He destroyed that. He destroyed that Corvette. Remember when Austin put the concrete in there? Yeah, that was actually his Corvette too. Yeah. So. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. So we both agree on that. I mean, I just feel bad for Damian Priest, because where does he go after this match? You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. No, he's on SmackDown. He's on SmackDown. he's taken up a spot for a guy that's sitting at home. Now Keith Lee is injured. Yeah, there's something goofy going on with him because both him and Mia Yim had COVID, and Mia Yim's back on TV somewhat. Although thank God they broke up the. Yeah, oh my God, what a failed experiment that was. Um, but as far as Buddy Murphy and Alistair Black, they're both ready to go. I would have loved to see. I'll tell you what, you put that match on any one of these nights, you got a show stealer right there. Yeah, I mean those guys they killed it. So, but that's my only problem is the fact that you got Bad Bunny and he's taking up a spot that could be used by a guy that's not on WrestleMania. Okay. So we both agree on that one. So we're probably going to agree on most of these, I would imagine. But next up is the number one contenders tag team turmoil match. So we got Carmella and Billie Kay, Lana and Naomi, Tamina Snuka and Natalya, Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. The winners get the title match at night 2. What are you thinking? Yeah, it'll be confirmed tomorrow night. But SmackDown's already been taped, too, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah. I don't have the results or anything like that, but I know it's been taped. No. Mm-mm. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 No. No. And you're correct on that because here's my biggest thing about mixed match tag teams. Okay, tag team wrestling is supposed to be known as the two people that are involved in the team. They should be dressed alike. One, they should have some type of tag team moves, which these two girls do. Um, and I think you're right. And plus, they shouldn't even be in this match because they've already earned a title shot against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. So, um, yeah, I was really surprised that they were put into this. And if they don't win, they're still guaranteed a title shot. At least in my mind, they should be. And there's another uh, team that's guaranteed a title shot, and that's Tamina Snuka and Natalia. They won. They won that. Uh, they won a match where they are guaranteed a title shot too. And here's the interesting thing about Tamina Snuka and Natalia. Natalia's got a beef with. Hey, I want to welcome in Zero Gravity. How are you doing, sir? Appreciate you. I appreciate you joining us. Um, so I don't know if you saw it, but you know how they do the Talking Smack on Saturday mornings? Yeah. Um, there was a one where Tamina Snuka and Natalia were on there, and it's hosted by Paul Heyman and it used to be Charlie Caruso, but she's gone. Um, Kayla Braxton, I think that's her name. Um, she there was a shoot that Natalia said that she's been out of shape with WWE with the way she's booked, and she's sick and tired of seeing all these other girls get their shots, and I'm not getting my shots. And Paul Heyman turned to her and said, "Quit your bitching." His words, his actual words, "Quit your bitching and do something about it. If you want to be noticed, then make yourself noticed." And if that means that you go to Vince McMahon and you go to his office and you say, "Listen, this is what I want," then that's what you need to do. And it was a really good segment, and it put Tamina Snuka and Natalia on the map. So I'll leave it to Paul Heyman to put somebody over, you know. Dana Brooke. No, I do too. I do like him. Hmm. Yeah, that's gonna end up happening, anyways, because the two of them, they're a mixed match tag team, and Nia Jax is. Oh, hold on one second. Somebody said we can't. They can't hear you. Okay. Can you hear him now, Zero? It takes a minute for the chat to. He says no. He can't. He can't hear you. Alright. Yeah, I can hear you too. You can't. You can't hear you on your phone. Really? Yeah, I guess not. I got a low budget for this show. Let me see. Let me see. How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay, hold on 1 second. I wonder why. Huh. On the stream, huh? Let me see. How about now?
Not on my not on my phone.
How about now, Zero? Can you hear him now? Yeah. Okay.
What about me?
You can hear. You can hear Gary. Okay.
Test test.
Okay.
Oh, now I can hear you.
Yeah. There. That's what it is. I had a. I changed my overlays and all that type of stuff. And stupid. Computers and myself don't go well together, guys. And I stated this on Lag Nation stream the other night. I'm working with a low budget computer and a low budget mind. So,
I
okay.
think just gotta follow, and share the stream. You can get more followers, and upgrade this equipment.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so let's let's recap. All right. So thank God we were only 3 matches in. So we talked about Cesaro and Seth Rollins. We both agreed. What did we agree? We agreed Cesaro.
Once Cesaro to win, yep.
Okay. The Miz and Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, and we both said John Morrison's going to take the fall. And
Yep.
who takes the pin on that one? You think Bad Bunny takes the pin on that?
Yeah, Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny takes the pin on Morrison.
Okay.
That way, the Miz is kind of like he can't take the blame for it. He can blame Morrison some more. If they decide to break up, they could over this. If not,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And then we're talking about the number one contenders tag turmoil match, and we both feel
I
that yeah, Lana and Naomi. I feel Lana and Naomi too. The only other thing I could see is possibly, like, I know you said you're not feeling Tamina Snuka and Natalia, but that's the only other team that I can see winning.
To me, that's just like Nia and Shayna 2.0.
Yeah, that's true. But I
Yeah.
will give them this, okay? They're both coming out dressed the same and wearing similar outfits. So, which is my definition of a tag team. And they're doing tag team moves. So, um, but I think Lana and Naomi are going to win that. And they're going to go on tonight two to face Nia and Shayna. All right, so the next match we got is the steel cage match. Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. So can I start with this one? Because I have a little bit of a okay.
Please,
I
because I don't care.
I have a big beef with this storyline. Okay, and you could say that I'm invested in it. Okay, and the reason being is because I don't like. I've stated it on shows in the past. I do not like the fact that Shane McMahon is using the stupid line. All right,
Okay.
and I understand that we're trying to get back to the Attitude Era, but that's not the way to do it. And it goes completely against, which they may not be doing anymore, and that's the anti-bullying campaign.
Oh yeah. True.
And I just don't like it. I don't like the fact that they're using the word stupid. And anybody that's ever been picked on in their life and called stupid, I start having flashbacks to when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And I've stated on the past shows that, I'm not ashamed to admit it and put it out there that I was picked on as a kid. And that was one of the things that I was picked on. So it puts a bad taste in my mouth. And that we're going to see Shane McMahon do some stupid bump, which, to be perfectly honest with you, is getting very old. Because he's getting old. You're right.
Looks like his dad, yeah.
Hey, I want to welcome in Logan Matthew Berry. I appreciate you joining, bud. Feel free to jump in the chat, and if I don't read your message right away, just bear with me, and we'll go back. I'll talk. You know what? I'll go back to the chat, and we'll in between the matches that we're talking about. So, so I want Braun Strowman to win. What's the matter?
As we're talking about your NXT, kind of multitasking.
Okay. Right.
So,
don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
I'm not. With me, Braun, he had a good thing going with, the Monster Monk menu, to get these hands. Then he got injured. He came back. It seems like they never know what to do with them, or they never have a plan B. So he's always in these weird, just random storylines, I feel like WWE is sour on him. He's getting booked funny. I think he's getting punished somehow. And truth be told, with them having so many talent and them already having a big man in Keith Lee, I feel like they may cut ties with Braun. They cut ties with the Lars. That was a whole different situation. But it seems like they're kind of getting away from that brute type.
Well, there's a reason why they cut ties with Lars.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Tons of reasons, but I feel like they're kind of getting away from that prototypical brute per se.
Yeah.
So, like you said, we're gonna get that Shane spot, him getting thrown off something, him driving off something. We're gonna get that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Braun charging around the ring, running over Elias and Riker, because they're gonna hop in there somehow.
Yeah.
I have Shane winning because I feel like they're not gonna keep Braun too much longer, or they're gonna continue to bury Braun for a while, and he's inconsistent, he's injury prone, and he has these mediocre. He doesn't have a super good promo. He gets off on the size and the stature, the stuff he can do in the ring. So I feel like with the new class they're signing, and I think they're looking towards the future. I can see him not being with WWE much longer. If not, he'll be main event.
Yeah.
I'm soon. He'd be in that same way where Ricochet and Aleister Black, he's still being that kind of foe there for a while, I think.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into Ricochet, because that's a damn shame right there. I mean, that guy, he's not even on WrestleMania. That sucks.
Yep. They have a list of guys who's in Mania.
Yeah. And yeah, I think I don't know if I so much agree with the fact that they're going to cut ties with him. I do think they're going to bury him.
Mm-hmm.
He's done something. I don't know what he's done, but he was on that monster push in the Universal title picture. He even won the belt, and then he just kind of floated down to the mid card level, and and he's working with Shane McMahon, who is a spot monkey. So
yeah.
But do you see Shane winning, or do you see Braun winning?
No, I see Shane winning.
Okay.
I think they're going to continue to bury Braun somehow, and I have Shane winning, and I can see them writing off Braun for a while, or they're not doing it with them anyway. So Braun has nothing to lose by winning or losing. So
Yeah, true.
Shane could profit more off winning because it's Shane McMahon. So either way it goes, it's
Yeah.
doesn't matter either way it goes.
I don't think it really, I agree with you. I don't think it matters. I just wish they dropped a storyline because I don't like it.
Yeah.
So next up, we got Raw Tag Team Title match. Almost an AJ Styles versus New Day and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. And I don't mean to laugh, but I just gotta say this, okay? All right. I love Almost. All right. I think he's I think if I was tagged up with him, I think it would be pretty cool. Okay. He's he's a figure. You know what I mean? Like he's tall and he's muscular and all that. But here's the one thing I don't like about him: the guy can not stop himself from smiling
Yeah.
during promos, and when something goofy happens, like for example, when he threw one of the New Day over the railing.
Xavier Woods, yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't stop laughing. He could stop laughing. So, but I mean that's something that he's not a worker. At least as far as I don't think he is. Um, he's gonna have certain moves that he does, like the Great Khali.
Yeah.
Although I certainly hope he can move better than the Great Khali.
He
Um,
better be able to
yeah.
better than that.
So I think that I think they take the belts
Really? AJ and
as a shock value because AJ hasn't had those tag belts yet, and he's pretty much held every belt except for the Intercontinental belt.
Okay.
Oh, he hasn't.
Interesting.
He hasn't held the Universal belt, I should say. But I don't think he's long for WWE much longer, either. To be honest with you.
Now, do you think he's done? Or do you think he will go on a farewell tour, or do you think he's done after that? I
No,
know he said he wanted to be WWE, but
no. I think he goes on a farewell tour.
okay.
Um, I think he should go back to New Japan. To be honest with you, I would love to see a match between him and Will Ospreay. Oh my God!
Well, especially now, yeah.
Take my money, please take my money. But
At Wrestle Kingdom,
yeah,
at Wrestle
at
Kingdom.
Wrestle Kingdom, because I believe his contract expires at the end of the year.
Wow.
If not, at the end of the year, but maybe towards October.
That'd be
And
perfect. I hope it's October because 3 months later he could be at Wrestle Kingdom.
yeah.
Mm.
So going back to the Shane McMahon match, Logan Matthew Berry says I think Shane wins, and Braun asks for his release, or WWE just releases him. So Logan agrees with you.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, I think though, I think they should move him if they're gonna move him to Raw. I don't know. I'd hate to see a big guy like that. I like Braun Strowman, you know, um, but I'd hate to see a big guy like that get not used the right way.
And while we talk about Braun, like, is I'm confused. Is NXT a third brand or not?
It's a third brand.
So why
It's
not?
not considered the development territory anymore.
I mean, I thought by Fandango and Prince Pretty, they went down to NXT. They're doing good down there. I think even though they're kind of out of the picture, I think maybe because of injuries, but you know they're going back. They're going on Tuesdays. Braun could. It'd be interesting to see Braun at NXT against Karrion and Cross and Bronson Reed.
I got one for you. How about Braun Strowman versus Walter.
Oh,
Holy shit!
oh,
So Zero
yeah,
Gravity, Zero Gravity says Triple H, I think, would use Strowman way better than Vince. So
I
he
agree.
agrees. So he thinks that he should be moved on to NXT.
Those chops.
Oh my God, dude.
Now, have you followed Volta for a while? Have you followed him for a while?
I have. Yeah.
Has he wrestled anybody bronze size?
No.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh, you
interesting.
know what? I take that back. He wrestled Jeff Cobb, which could be,
Mm,
bulky wise, Cobb, who's doing phenomenal things over in New Japan. And let me tell
yeah.
you, um, but that's the only person I can compare him to. I think he, I
Was
think
that?
he, I think he wrestled him at PWG.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Yeah, for the title. Um, I believe he also wrestled Dominic Divakovic too, but
Okay, yeah.
he's got the height. He doesn't have the bulk.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I can't remember anybody wrestling his
Yeah,
size, but
yeah,
that would be interesting to see. I mean, yeah. So why not?
yeah. I mean, why not move him down to NXT? It's considered a third brand.
Mhm.
They have been considered a third brand ever since they went on USA and went off the WWE
Yeah.
network. So, um, so that answers that. So, what do you think? What do you think about the Raw tag team title match?
Honestly, I don't know. It can go either way for me. I'm thinking the only reason I think in my head, like you said, Omos is not a worker, at least as far as we know. I think this is just like a way to test the waters with him. So you see how he can move in the ring, to see what moves he can do, what he can't do. He's surrounded by safe workers and AJ Styles and Kofi. He's surrounded by veterans who could kind of coach him through the process. So I would be highly surprised if the New Day does not retain because how many safe tag teams can they work with AJ? He can't carry Omos every single match. So I figure
True.
how much more can they do? A buddy of mine said that he thinks that you know New- I kind of like what he said. New Day retains, and then Omos and Xavier Woods may have a one-on-one sometime down the road. Because they have their little things together. But I mean that I just I can't imagine this green guy. Yeah, he's a monster and stuff like that. But like I said, there's not too many people who work. There's nobody in WWE who's ever worked with anybody his size, let alone you
True.
know
True.
ever. So, but I'm going with I say the New Day retains. I think Omos does take a pin. I think you're gonna see like the Trouble in Paradise in a combination with Xavier Woods off the top somehow, and AJ can't get there, or
Yeah.
that's what I can't see them winning the titles,
I'll tell
even
you.
for shock.
I'll tell you what. Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm pretty much sick of New Day. I love them as singles. I really do. I think when Kofi Kingston was out, I think Xavier Woods did a phenomenal job as a single wrestler.
Yeah,
And I know if I were booking a company, he'd be one of my number one draft picks because
Xavier Woods.
yeah, because he's got
Yeah,
everything. He can talk, he can work, and by having him in a tag team, it's just like okay, you know, how much more of Kofi Kingston are we gonna get shoved down our throats? You know what I mean?
true.
Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. I like the um, I liked what they did with Kofi when he won the belt, and they proved that this is a guy that was predominantly known as a tag team wrestler, and he won the big strap, and I'm glad for that because what do they call it? They called it Kofi Mania. Is that what they called it?
Kofi man.
Yeah. But that's another thing. He's proved that he's a single wrestler. So, and I think they teased the fact by putting taking Big E out of there and giving him a singles push. And I think they should do that with the other guys too.
Okay.
You know, but I'm going for pure shock value, and I think Almost and AJ Styles pull it off. You can laugh all you want, but
That would be a shock. That would be definitely be a shock.
I think that's what they're going to do with that. So
So you okay with Omos smiling with the belt?
yeah, because I think you know what Omos needs, okay, and he needs a guy like Dusty Rhodes to sit him down and say, "Here you go. This is how you do a promo. This is how you should act in the ring. This is how you should sell. You should not smile every time that you sell." And you know, but I think they're just a pure shock value that I think Almost and AJ Styles win it. So, and
Logan Matthew Barry says after Mania, the only thing he wants is to get Bad Bunny off TV.
yeah, we've had we've had this conversation on previous shows.
See,
Yeah, so yeah, I have a tendency to agree. I don't think he's going to stick around. You know what? While we're on the subject of rappers, what do you think about? And if I don't, who is it that's having the Twitter war with Randy Orton? Who is that guy?
Soldier Boy and Bow Wow, even though he's not Bow Wow anymore, he's Shad the Moss.
Yeah. What do you think about
what
that?
that's what the kids say. They were clout chasing. They were just trying to get themselves relevant again.
Really? You don't think anything's going to come about of it?
No, no, because Randy Orton is worth too much money to WWE. You know, to that's why they brought a Logan Paul in there. Somebody who has the followers, somebody who has the millions of followers that will watch a WWE product just because, you know, he's on there, or the Bad Bunnies. They're not going to, if they're going to go get like a rapper, and I say rapper, you know, loosely, they will go for like Lil Nas X or, you know, somebody really, really young and that's up there. They're going to go to somebody I listened to in my 20s or, you know, early 20s when I was in the club. You're like, you know,
Yeah.
and you had me by a couple years. So.
Isn't Bow Wow like 4 foot nothing, too?
Yeah,
Like, isn't he like a little guy?
yeah, he's up there. Like, you know, he's Leon Ruff is bigger than Bow Wow.
Oh my God! Let's not talk about Leon Ruff.
Yeah,
Kofi Kingston #2. That's what I see. Kofi when he first started. Okay, not the Kofi Kingston now.
I have Leon as Kofi #3. I have Swerve as #2. Kofi #2.
Really?
Three,
Now,
yeah.
see, I think Swerve is a hell of a lot better talent than Leon Ruff.
Oh yeah, he is. You know, so if there's a next, you know, reimagining of Kofi, it's going to be Swerve.
All right. All right. So let's talk about one of the matches that I am really looking forward to, and that is the SmackDown Women's SmackDown Women's Title match. This is one of the matches that I have on my list as being a show stealer. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. And I will. Okay, Logan Matthew Barry says Bow Wow is 5'7". Okay.
Like,
Okay.
like a $120 soaking wet too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He does not deserve to be in the ring. Let's just put it out there.
If he has to run the ropes from the middle rope, he should not be in there.
He should be fighting midgets.
If he does come in, he has to wear a mask. He has to wear a mask.
Yeah, he should be down in Mexico fighting the midgets. So let's talk
Little people.
Yeah, a little
when it comes.
pivot. I'm sorry. I'm I'm
It's fair to say,
so
so look,
I'm so unpolitically correct. It's not even funny. So I'm surprised I haven't been thrown off the air with some of the stuff that I've talked about. So, anyways, so let's talk about the SmackDown Women's Title match, and I will let you go first, my friend, because you are my guest.
this for me is going to be match of the night. I
I
got a
agree.
feeling it might be match of the night. If not, I got a match of the night. I don't think it's gonna be the best match of all Mania, but I think it's gonna be a match of the night. Now I have two thoughts when it comes to this. If they are the co-main event, if Lashley and Drew, if Lashley and McIntyre are the main event and they're the co-main event, Sasha retains. If they're the main event, I have Bianca winning. So I got a feeling that we're going to see some things that hasn't been done before in terms of athleticism by Bianca. So in my head, I have her Sasha going for Meteora, and Bianca just catches her and just power bombs her or something. I got a feeling we're going to see some outlandish stuff. Both ladies are going to come out looking beautiful, looking excellent. I love their attires. But honestly, the lead up for I thought the lead up was kind of left to be undesired. And I didn't care for the lead up. I honestly thought that they were going to win the tag titles at one point in time because I liked them as a tag team. So, but
Yeah, I agree with
the
you.
lead
I
up,
I thought that they were
yeah.
gonna I thought they were gonna win the belts too.
So the lead up is stupid, but in terms of the match itself, it should sell itself. Even that little glimpse that we seen between Bianca and Naomi, and that was just in a Rumble, how those two women did athletically with each other. I know her and Sasha by themselves in a whole match should be something spectacular. So, like I said, depending on where it is on the card, it could go either way. But in my heart, I want Bianca to win. I feel like they need to definitely do like a fresh reboot. They haven't done like a fresh reboot in a long time. And due to circumstances, this is the only time where in WWE where we're not having Bailey, um, Becky, Charlotte, and Asuka kind of in the picture. So this is time for them to really refresh the women and you know refresh the eyes for the product. So I feel like what's best for business is going to be to have Bianca win it. But at the same time, Sasha, I can see her having a hissy fit. It's the biggest stage. Fans are kind of back, and she drops the title. I'm not sure if Sasha's willing to do that.
Um, I believe the right thing to do is have Bianca Belair win the belt. Okay.
Mhm.
They built her up so big in the Royal Rumble by having her win it, and she started number one, right? I think. Did
Yeah.
she start number
Yep.
one? Okay. All right.
She one
Uh,
and two.
yeah, one of them. Um, I don't think I don't think the match is going to be the main event.
Okay.
Um, I can see Sasha pitching a fit because it's the grandest stage of them all. She's done it before. Regardless of
Mm-hmm.
what she said on her stupid thing that she did pitch a fit, both her and Bailey.
Yeah.
The difference between the two of them is Sasha took her ball and went home, and Bailey
Right.
stayed around and became a single star. So,
Yep.
um, the right thing to do is have Bianca win, but I think it's up in the air because of the fact that I think it's going to be the co main event. I really do. Um, and do we? I know this is going to sound bad, but do we really need? Do we really need the women to main event the show? No, I'm not saying it to be an asshole. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that we've seen it before, and I just think that let McIntyre have his moment. He didn't have it last year. because they didn't have fans. So we'll talk about
Now,
that afterwards. But
I feel like with WWE being progressive and diverse, I think they would have two, women of color headline Mania. I mean, that's why they feel to capitalize and market off it. Do we need it? Um, that's a personal preference because we've seen Drew and Bobby wrestle before. This is like Impact or TNA
yeah,
kind
true,
of again,
true,
between them two.
true.
But it's all about but at the same time, I feel like Lashley deserves to have the main event spot because he's so over right now. So if I had to pick, I would rather have Lashley and Drew main event with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I love Sasha and Bianca. Don't get me wrong; that'd be a great WrestleMania moment. I mean, Bianca already had her moment this year at Royal Rumble when she won the Rumble. Let,
Right.
let Lashley have a solid title defense against Drew in front of people and let him really kind of stand tall there. And so I don't want him to lose the momentum with the run he has right now.
Right.
Do we need it? No, I can see why they could do it, but
Yeah.
it would be epic if they were the main event.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that you got 2 nights of it, and we already know that night 2 the triple threat's going to be the main event.
Yeah.
So what I find funny though, it's not really funny, but on both nights they have the women's match as the second to the main event in my listing.
Mm.
And to be perfectly honest with you, the SmackDown women's match means a hell of a lot more than the Raw women's match.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
I think so.
So
Do you think that WWE will mix it up? Because like you said, they already know the men's match on night 2 is going to be the main event. That they'll say, okay, we have the women main event night 1. Do we have the guys main event night 2? Do you think it's possible?
yeah, I think I would like. Now I know I said earlier, do we really need it? I'll tell you what. Okay, let's put it this way. All right, traditional wrestling likes to send the fans home happy.
Yeah.
Does McIntyre Lashley really send the fans home happy, or does Sasha or Bianca really send them home happy? Because there's that feel good moment if Bianca wins. There's that feel good moment saying, okay, we're sending the fans home happy. So in that aspect, I think they should main event. So
Okay.
I really don't see the same thing with Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, which we can talk about right now.
Okay.
I just want to. Logan Matthew Berry says,
I saw that.
you did see that? I'll just say it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Lesnar will return at Mania during the Lashley McIntyre match. If he's going to return at Mania, it's going to be during the Roman Reigns Edge match. I think. I don't see it happening.
No, that's when Goldberg is going to come back. We're going to see the Battle of the Spears, whether we like it or not.
Oh my God.
We're going to see Edge, Goldberg, and Roman Reigns in a triple threat Battle of the Spears at SummerSlam for the Universal title.
Okay.
That's what we're going to see.
Let me get on my iPad and cancel the Peacock network right now because I will not watch that. Thank you. Thank you for, you know what? Here's my sound.
What? What?
You should be, if I could reach to the screen and slap you, I would do that. um, yeah. Um, so let's talk about the WWE title match. Um, I want I want to go on record and say right now that I love Bobby Lashley as champion. Okay, I think they broke up the Hurt business way too early
Yeah, I
because
agree.
um, they could use these guys to get involved. Because by and WWE is famous for this. You're gonna break up something that's working
Yeah,
and hasn't run its course. So um, I see Bobby Lashley retaining the belt. I don't think he's had the run long enough,
yeah,
and there's a lot of talk out there that Drew hasn't had his feel good moment, his WrestleMania moment. Well, he had it last year, regardless of when it was fans, whether fans were there or not. And he beat Goldberg. He beat Brock Lesnar in
he
five
won it.
in 5 minutes. So um, and he eliminated him for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
So okay, so he's had his moment. So let's give Bobby Lashley his moment.
yeah. I just want to go back to the chat. So Logan McIntyre Ace says, "Do we really want to see Goldberg botch another jackhammer?"
Yeah.
And I said that was a brain buster, not a jackhammer. So
Um, are we talking about when he botched it against the Undertaker and literally almost took him out of his career? Is that what we're talking about? Because if that's the case, then no, I do not. And
well, we could have Goldberg wrestle Bad Bunny and give Bad Bunny that botch jackhammer. Then we all be happy, right?
yeah, we'd all be happy. Yeah, yeah. I think Bad Bunny needs to go away after Mania. So, but what do you think? What do you think
I
about the main event?
I have Lashley retaining because I feel for Drew. I really like him right now chasing for the title. I like him going through all these talent, going through all that as well. I like that. I feel like as much as they like the Hurt Business being broke up, I thought Lashley being so over right now. I felt like they didn't need him to be with the Hurt Business. Lashley be with the Hurt, but they could break up the Hurt Business because Lashley's so over, and the other two guys are mid card guys anyway. They could always get the tag team titles again. Because I do like Shelton and Cedric's chemistry together. I think they're a good tag team. I do like them together as a tag team
Yeah,
when they're not bickering. So I'd rather have them as a tag team rather than not having them at all, or have them be like just buried somewhere. So I like the chase for Drew to get the title. I do have Lashley retaining. I just don't know who his future opponent would be. But I got a feeling that they're gonna have to give us Riddle and Lashley again for a bigger title because Riddle is red hot right now, and I got a feeling that we could see them down the line. A Riddle and Lashley. But just you know for now, I do have Lashley retaining, and But my thing is, if Lashley retains, well, what's going to happen with Drew? Is going to go back to feuding with Sheamus? Like, just future booking wise, I'm not sure how they're going to, you know, take care of Drew.
yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know where he goes after this because maybe move him down the card and give
Okay.
somebody else a chance, like Riddle. Although Riddle, um, I love how I love how they're booking Riddle. Okay,
Me too.
um, they're subtly saying that he smokes weed and he is not smoking weed. You know what I
You're
mean?
right.
like by the way he acts. That's
Don't
the
do drugs. Way.
yeah. That's the reason why he got kicked out of the UFC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. So I mean, he's right around up there with Rob Van Dam with being openly smoking. So, and I don't condone that on this show. So kids don't do drugs.
Right.
So, um,
Say your prayers, take your vitamins, all that good stuff.
yeah, yeah, and drop a leg drop on somebody. Um, Preferably not your dog.
Right.
Don't do that. So so yeah, so I agree. I think um, they should keep Shelton and Cedric as a tag team
hmm
because I think it gives both of those guys, and I think they should have another run at the tag belts. To be honest with you, without MVP.
Yeah.
So then my question to you is, since we're done talking about that match, do you think Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander as a babyface tag team would be better than a heel tag team?
Um.
Do you think they could get away with it?
Yes, they could get away with it because they're together. Because Shelton, he's had good runs as a babyface. Even though I like both of them as heels. Like when Cedric joined the Hurt Business, I thought that was awesome. I like them in that heel mode, but I feel like if they're both faces together, it just their chemistry together, whether they're heel or face, it doesn't matter to me. I think their chemistry together is is what's going to get them over per se. Their chemistry and their moves set together, so it doesn't matter to me. Um, I just like the Hurt Business, at all. So I'm kind of sad that they're broken up, but if they can keep those two guys together, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think um, I think they could work as a babyface tag team. This would set them apart. It would put them away from the Hurt Business
Yeah,
because I think by them turning babyface, it allows them to separate themselves not so much from Bobby Lashley but from MVP.
okay,
And but I also like them as a heel tag team. But
yeah,
they need to separate themselves from. They need to get out of the storyline of any storyline that Bobby Lashley is in. And if they don't do that, then they're going to continue to be uh, connected at the hip with this guy. And I really think both. You want Bobby Lashley to stand on his own,
yeah.
and you want those guys to stand on their own as well. So, um, I don't know.
So I have a question.
Sure.
Would you rather be an MVP guy or a Paul Heyman guy?
Paul Heyman.
Okay.
Um, were you at the show that we saw MVP?
Mm, I can't remember.
Okay. It took place at the Niagara Falls Fire Hall. I
Okay.
don't.
No, no.
Okay. All right. MVP can't work as like he used to. So, although he makes a great manager, but I think Paul Heyman on the stick is anybody he's attached to is gold. They're guaranteed to get over. And the same thing can be said for MVP. I just think that Paul Heyman is more of a I think MVP is always going to be seen as a wrestler and
Yeah.
not a manager. And you're always going to have that thought in the back of your head saying, when is this guy going to get back in the ring? And I don't think he was brought back to wrestle. I think he was brought back to manage.
I think with COVID going on, I think like they they kind of put in a weird spot, where they needed somebody safe, or somebody who knows the business to work with. I think he was that guy. So
Yeah, and we'll get into the Paul Heyman thing and everything in night two. So my question to you is, sir, would you like to take a break and like a 60-second or 90-second break, and we can get into night two, or you want to continue to go on?
it's up to you. I'm good. So if you need a break, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a 60-second break. All right,
Okay.
and we
Oh,
will both Gary and myself will be back in about 60 seconds, guys. Okay.
all right.
Okay, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. That took me a little bit longer than normal. I got an issue with my son, so unfortunately, when you're a parent, doing these streams is very difficult, and you can attest to that, right, Gary?
Sure can.
Yeah,
I have to just tilt my headphones every now and then, just listen.
yeah. So yeah. Plus, I have an old man's bladder too, so that's the other thing. Okay, so let's get on to night two. I'll run down the matches and then we'll do the same thing. Triple threat match for the Universal title: Daniel Bryan versus Edge versus Roman Reigns. A Raw Women's title match: Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Nigerian drum match: anything goes, no rules or limits, for the WWE Intercontinental Belt. I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
I laugh first, so
Okay. Apollo Crews versus Big E. WWE United States title match: Sheamus versus Riddle. WWE Women's Tag title match: winner of Night 1 Turmoil, Tag Team Turmoil versus Nia Jax and Shayna. And then Randy Orton versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and with Alexa Bliss. So we'll start with Randy Orton versus The Fiend, and I'll let you go first, my friend.
this is one match where I mean, it can go either way it goes. But future booking, I don't know how they can go either way. Alexa keeps saying that the Legend Killer is gonna die. Meanwhile, you got Bray looking like a toxic Avenger. You know, so it's like, I mean, I miss the old Bray Wyatt. I miss the old, follow the buzzards on. I miss that Bray. I love that. The Waylon Mercy kind of type Bray. That's what I miss.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not sure what they can do. It's probably like another Well, is it going to be a cinematic match?
It is. It is going to be a cinematic match.
I mean,
it's funny. You looking like the toxic Avenger. That's hilarious. I never thought of that until you just said it. That makes me laugh.
So if they're gonna go trauma all the way. Just do some outlandish trauma stuff.
Yeah.
If they're gonna go with the Fiend, I, only way this is gonna get my interest is if Randy Orton gives Alexa Bliss a cutter,
Yeah.
or something. Honestly, I don't know. I can't pick it. I can't pick either way it goes because after I don't know what they do after.
Yeah, that's my main problem with this match, because okay, Randy has set him on fire. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he's back looking like the toxic Avenger. Where do they go after this? Because what are they gonna do? Are they gonna put him? You'll love this one. What are they gonna put him in the pool of reincarnation and bring him back as the original Bray Wyatt? I love Bray and Alexa.
Me too.
I think the Alexa character she's shown that she can change, which is what they need in somebody. But I just don't know where they go with Bray Wyatt after this. It'd be interesting.
You know what I like? Now that you said that, let's say if Alexa and Bray gets into like a reincarnation, if they come back as some like Bible evangelist type people, almost Brother Love-esque type,
Yeah.
they just over the top. I love you, I love all you fans, and they just really over the top, and
then we'll know who's booking that, Bruce Pritchard. So yeah, I guess I love the angle, okay, but I don't care who wins
yeah,
because it really doesn't matter. If Bray wins and he does something dramatic to Randy can go off and have a couple months off, and then they can bring him back and put him in the title picture. That's the only thing that I can see happening here.
They're
Because,
already
and you know, what do they do with Bray Wyatt? I just don't know.
yeah.
So
And that's one thing I don't like about WWE. They book themselves into a corner with no way to get out of it besides without doing something stupid or them just cutting it off entirely. Like they just it's a weird way they book things.
here's a good question for you. Do you think that WWE is trying too hard with Bray Wyatt to reincarnate the Undertaker? To make him more like the Undertaker? Because look at how many times Undertaker got set on fire.
Yeah.
Look at how many times he was buried alive. Look at how many times, well, he only did it one time where he floated up to the ceiling
Yeah.
after being,
Just cool.
it was, after being beat by Yokozuna, you know. So, do you think that they're trying too hard to create another Undertaker? And then to add to that, if they are trying too hard, do you think Bray Wyatt is the guy that they do?
Interesting. So, what I liked about Bray when he first came, after was that he was a mix of he had these mankind type promos, but yet he kind of had this southern drawl like a Waylon Skinner or like a Waylon Mercy or almost like a Skinner type person, like
Mm-hmm.
and which was you get the best of both worlds. We had we love mankind and we love Undertaker, so you get the darkness of his entrance, then you get the mankind type promos about just him kind of talk about the world and they're not ready and all whatever mankind was talking about at the time. We got the best of both worlds. Um, I think WWE didn't expect it to be that to be that huge,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody was the lights go out, everybody has their phone, you were in a trance. It's cool watching that on TV too. But once again, I think they booked themselves into a corner with these silly storylines instead of having him be that person, And that's what they were Undertaker. There was always a baseline for the Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the Ministry of Darkness and stuff like that, he's always the dead man. It was always rest in peace. It was always, okay, we could get rid of all this nonsense and we go back to base Undertaker, which everybody loved,
Mm-hmm.
But they never had that with Bray, so
Mm-hmm.
or they changed it or they did too much. So, um, if they if that's WWE's plan to have him be the next Taker per se, why not just have Undertaker pass him the torch, do it formally?
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a Fiend versus Taker.
Yeah.
I'm sure Bray's safe enough to work with Taker. Do that,
Yeah, I mean, we got the Bray versus Taker, but we didn't get the Fiend versus Taker.
right? Yeah,
Here's something I just thought about. Okay, and this is crazy WWE booking because I can see this happen. So the Fiend character has always been separated from Bray Wyatt.
Mhm.
So he's another personality.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Yeah. So I could see them bringing the Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt back, and the Fiend goes away, so we don't see the Fiend anymore.
I would prefer that.
Yes, I would too, because I think, although I like the Fiend gimmick, I think it's run its course.
I agree.
And let's move on to something else. Because Bray Wyatt, let's be honest, he's the type of guy that can change his persona very easily.
Yeah.
You know, like a Mick Foley, like an Undertaker, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other guys out there too, that. But that's what I can see as crazy booking.
And what that is that like as Bray used to always say before the Fiend came, let him in. Now it's like, okay, now he could be keep him locked in, instead of let me in and out, or keep him locked out,
Yeah.
or have Bo Dallas come and be the Fiend. They could do a cinematic match, Bo versus Bray,
Yeah. No,
the
I
Fiend
don't see
versus
it.
Bray.
Did you know Bo Dallas and Liv Morgan were together?
I just found that out a couple weeks ago,
Yeah, they own a
about a month or
farm.
two ago.
They own a farm together, and he owns his own insurance company. I think that's what it was. So I don't see Bo Dallas coming back, which is a shame too, because you know what, the Bo Dallas character in NXT was getting over,
Hmm.
and when he moved to the main roster and got put in that tag team with Curtis Axel, um, that's when it all went to the shitter for him. So,
Yeah.
you know. Okay, so next up we got the WWE Women's Tag Team Title match. So we said that Naomi and Lana are gonna win. So if it is Naomi and Lana going up against Nia Jax, do we see them winning the belts?
I say yes. I think with how they're going to shake up the women's title match, the women's title situation, I think they're going to need some different singles people. So I do have them, Lana and Naomi winning the titles at Mania weekend.
Okay, and I agree. Um,
Now, you won with Tamina and Natty. Do you think Tamina and Natty will win?
um, well, they were my second. They were my second choice. I think Naomi and Lana are gonna win that match. I wanted to throw it out there because of what happened on Talking Smack.
Oh yeah, okay.
But I do think that um, there's an angle there in the making. So I think Naomi and Lana win, and then you put them up against Tamina Snuka and Natalia, and have them get
Okay.
a win over a solid tag team. I know your feelings on them, but I think they're a pretty solid tag team. Um,
Yeah.
Although they are two single girls that they put together,
Mhm.
but like I said, they're a tag team by coming out dressing the same, similar, and then doing tag team moves.
Right.
I don't see Nia Jax and Shayna retaining just because of, and I'm gonna use it, the Reginald factor,
Mm.
because um, can I just let me just say something about Reginald, okay? Um,
The som-
what's that?
the sommelier.
Yeah, the sommelier. Um, he is a goofy looking dude. You know what I mean? Like he's talented. Did you know? Okay, I'll throw this out there. I don't know if you knew this. Did you know he was the one that hosted the rap battle between New Day and the Usos? Was it the Usos or was it someone else?
With oh, he was with Wale. No, that's not Wale.
No, he's the guy that hosted. He was with him.
Oh, I didn't know he was with them. I only remember Wale and then the battle. What they
Yeah,
said, I didn't remember him being.
yeah. I went back and watched it. Same guy. It looks different, but I mean, obviously, so they decided to sign him, and I mean, the guy can work.
Yeah,
You know.
I like his matches with Sasha.
Yeah,
I like how he worked in it. He
yeah.
worked with
I
the
love
lady.
I love the fact that they were teasing the intergender matches too. I don't think they're going anywhere with it though, but
No,
um, yeah. So I mean, I don't see Nia and Shayna retaining, only because of their they've been bickering, for the last couple weeks, or ever since that Nia became obsessed with Reginald which is creepy as all hell. I just would like
I
to.
love it.
Do you? I, I,
Yeah,
I
that's the story we should have got with her and Enzo that they're doing together. So
yeah,
that's what I like.
yeah, that's true. But I'm not a huge Nia Jax fan, so
Never mind.
I think she's a botch queen. Although I will say this, my daughter loves it, is that whole thing that she did, where she said, "Oh, my hole," um, which got a ton of legs on the internet,
Yeah, it went viral. Yeah.
and I don't think WWE expected that. So, but that's here nor there. All right, so next up we got the WWE United States title match: Sheamus versus Riddle. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going with Riddle. He's red hot right now. Unless Sheamus is going on like a farewell run, I don't see him getting a singles title anytime soon. But yeah, I'm going with Riddle.
You think he's so you think he's having a farewell run?
Well, for the past couple of years, they've been saying he has that thing that Austin has, that spinal stenosis.
Oh, I didn't know
So I'm
that.
surprised. Yeah, Sheamus. Yeah, I'm surprised he's wrestling this long because he has that thing like how Austin has. But I didn't expect him to be working this many matches as he's doing now at such a high level. So, um, I mean, yeah. So, um, I missed a lot of early Sheamus stuff because he came in the Ruthless Aggression era. Did he come in around that time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't really watching wrestling at the time. So, I mean, I like him. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'm like, I haven't really.
Right. Just so you guys know, if you hear something, it's my dog. He's having a nightmare.
Uh,
He's laying here on the floor. He's pissed off because I won't let him in to sleep with my wife. So whatever. Um, yeah, I I don't see Riddle dropping the belt. I really don't. Ever since, I mean, look, it took him so long. It was a good chase for the belt. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And I can see him being elevated to the big title. You know. Plus, Vince loves him.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because I do know why. I'm just saying, like, he's not a typical Vince McMahon guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're talking like Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Bobby Lashley. Those are typical McMahon
Big
guys.
body, you know.
Riddle is more like a Triple H guy. You know,
Mhm.
but so I see Riddle retaining. Um, so next up, I'm sorry, but the Nigerian drum match. Anything goes, no rules or limits for the Intercontinental belt. Apollo Crews versus Big E. And I'm going to let you go first because
No. After doing, when honestly, I thought people were trolling because like I went dark, for Holy Week, so I didn't know that this was an actual confirmed thing for the match. I'm like, what kind of nonsense are they serious? They're actually doing this. So my ancestry.com, I found out that I'm like 27% Nigerian. And on the side note, but
really,
this match is going to be a good match. It's going to be better. Yeah, it's going to be better match than it was at Fastlane. I do have Apollo winning because I feel like they're going to do their Kofi Mania with Big E. I really think they're going to push Big E. Having him with the IC title was a way to kind of bring some awareness to the IC title because Big E, he has, charisma through the roof. He cut promos. He could do anything he wants through the roof. So I feel like they feel safe enough for him to eventually go for like a world title, a universal title run. I don't know when it's going to happen, but long-term booking, I can see him going with the title. And Apollo, I feel like, he will be a transition champ for somebody else. I don't know. Maybe for, like you said, like maybe for Cesaro. If Cesaro wins, he's going to need a single strap soon. So I feel like, he could work better against Apollo and have a little more athletic match and, do some interesting have an interesting match rather than Big E and, Cesaro. So that's my, thinking that, Apollo will win and Big E will eventually move up higher in the ranks.
Okay, so here's my take on it. I love Apollo's character. Okay, I don't like the fact that he has the accent. Um, we're going back to Kofi Kingston having the Jamaican accent. You know,
Yeah.
and and then they made jokes about him losing it. So, um, and the other thing I don't like is that spear thing he's carrying because he had it upside down. I don't know if you noticed, and it looked like a big Q-tip. So, um, I don't know. I don't know if that, you know, if that weapon is a weapon that the Nigerians use. Um, but regardless, okay. So I agree. I think Apollo Crews wins the belt. And they use Big E. They elevate him. Um, hey, I want to welcome in Doe Slayer. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Honestly, I'm surprised that with the climate we're living in now, I'm surprised that they let him come out with a spear because certain slurs with people of color and spears. I'm surprised when I saw it, I laughed my behind. I was like, they did not have him come out here with us. Then he talked about his royal lineage and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay, but I'm surprised they took it there with that. But if he owns it, then so be it.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
surprised too because you know with what's going on in the world today, um, you know they don't need to add fuel to the fire, and I think that's what they're what they're doing. But if he dropped the spear thing or the huge Q-tip, um, and dropped the Nigerian accent and let himself, he can still have the Nigerian lineage, okay?
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to have, like, because he found out that he's Nigerian, doesn't mean he's got to take the accent on. You know what I mean? I'll use a prime I use a prime example, okay? And this may not be the right example, but for example, my father, okay? He's the only one out of, and this isn't my stepfather's, my biological father. He is the only one out of that side of the family that didn't gain a southern accent when they moved down to Texas.
Hmm.
Okay? So just because you are from that descent doesn't mean you need to have the accent. I just think it reminds me too much of the Kofi Kingston thing, and that's bothersome too because I like Apollo. I like the fact
Yeah.
that okay, he can like I said he can find his lineage. That's fine, but then this is just WWE. That's stupid booking. You know what I mean? Like it's you're making you're trying to say your fans are idiots. You know what I mean? Like
Like
um
with Lana, remember
yeah,
accent
exactly.
for a while.
She was Russian. Okay, yeah. Okay, she may be Russian in real life, but you know, don't have her like here's what bothered me about Lana too. She would talk Russian on TV, but then if you followed her on Instagram or TikTok, she's speaking English. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like that's that's somebody that's not taking their gimmick seriously. Okay.
Kayfabe dead.
Yeah. So yeah, but I see Apollo winning. I don't think it needs to be a Nigerian drum match. I mean, this reminds me. You know what it reminds me of? This, remember the Punjabi prison match?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
And that was a failure. And you know that damn Nigerian cage is in the warehouse somewhere too, and they're probably like, we need to get rid of this thing. All right, so we agree on that one. Next up, Raw Women's Title match: Rhea Ripley versus Asuka, and I'm gonna start with this one. Okay,
Absolutely.
let's let's be perfectly honest. Rhea Ripley is in Charlotte's spot.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Um, that was Charlotte's match,
Mhm.
and I personally think that they weren't going to debut Rhea Ripley until after Mania. I think
Oh
that,
wow, is that
yeah, I do.
huh.
I think they were doing an old style booking where they play the vignettes, the coming soon things, and whatever else. And it just happened that Charlotte got COVID, and they moved Rhea Ripley right into that spot. So, um, there's another interesting thing too. Um, Asuka's working with some false teeth
Yep.
too, so she's gonna have to take time off to get her teeth fixed. And so I see Rhea Ripley winning the title. Um, but I have a problem with that, and that is with her coming off of her big NXT. Okay, because let's be honest, her and Charlotte ran that NXT women's division for whether how long Charlotte was down there. Okay,
True.
so that that drew me into watching that that match or that show, and so I see Rhea Ripley winning only because Asuka is gonna be going off to get her teeth fixed. So
Uh, Same here with me, and once again with WWE not having a distinct plan for the women per se. That's another reason why I have Rhea Ripley winning. And you're absolutely right that she took Charlotte's spot. Um, Asuka does need get some work done, and she deserves some time off. She wrestled all through COVID, as best as she could, And a fun fact is that she hasn't had a single main event match with her title in 8 months. I think. I think it's been around 8 months. So
because
this is the only time
she's been in tag team matches.
yeah, and they're gonna give it to Rhea Ripley because they booked all the other women in tag matches. The rest of the roster's in tag matches outside of the few that they got.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I think about it, I think you're right. They're gonna wait to debut her after Mania because before Lacey Evans got pregnant, Lacey Evans and Charlotte had a little thing going on, and then COVID and Lacey Evans getting pregnant and Becky not. I'm not sure when Becky's coming back. There's rumor that Ronda's coming back, so they're trying to bolster their singles roster. So they figure, hey, why not call up Rhea now, give her the title, we'll work some things out on the back end. So I have her keeping the title until Becky Lynch comes back. Rhea drops it to Becky. Becky holds on to it until Rumble. Asuka comes back for Rumble, and Mania next year is going to be Becky versus Asuka because that's the match we were supposed to have, but Becky got pregnant and gave the title to Asuka. So that's how I'm looking at it in that sense. And whoever they want to throw it in the mix in the meantime, they could, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I agree. Because Becky Lynch never lost that belt. Okay.
Right.
So, and let's be, I'm going to go back to what I said about the 24/7 belt. The match it should be won by a pinfall. Okay, and for her to hand the title over to Asuka, I didn't like it at the time. I get it. I get it why they did it because she was pregnant, but she's ready to come back. Um, let's hope that she comes back and Seth Rollins goes away for a little bit and comes back and then comes back with some better suits. But
or he gets pregnant. He has to sit down for a while.
there you go. And if he gets pregnant, then he's going to be a millionaire because. I see Rhea winning until Becky Lynch comes back, and then Becky takes that title. Here's another interesting thing. Do you think Charlotte stays with WWE? Because, let's be honest, all right, they did her wrong. And I don't know, that would have never got out there, okay? That the doctors misdiagnosed her if it wasn't for Andrade. Andrade's the one. Andrade's the so he'd be the one I would have a problem with because he's the one that shot his stupid mouth off and said the doctors diagnosed her as pregnant. So I'd be pissed at him.
How petty do you think Charlotte is to not return? Because Tony Khan's gonna open up the checkbook and say, "Put your number here," and oh my goodness, but would she want to? So many dream matches if she were to leave WWE. Because she's doing some acting here and there, but is she getting those gigs because of WWE and Peacock?
Yeah, I
the
think
whole,
so.
Will she lose out on those deals?
Well, you know what? She still has the Flair name, okay. And AEW's down south. And how awesome would it be to see Charlotte Flair and Tessa Blanchard down there in AEW?
Oh, see, now I'm thinking, okay. Did you see that tweet that Andrade put out, him as La Sombra as the NWA something champion?
Yeah.
Then Nick Aldis replied, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if he were to go to NWA and Charlotte shows up at NWA just like her dad, cuts promos like her dad, A new Flair is back in town, woo! And her against Serena Deeb, which would be a phenomenal match.
Yeah, it would.
Her against Thunder Rosa would be crazy. But I picture WWE would sign Tessa Blanchard just to spite Charlotte and AEW if she were to leave. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. We're going to get Tessa Blanchard, push her to the moon. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And go from there.
Either way, the fans win.
In
that situation.
That will break the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Kelly Klein. There's a lot. She has some interesting matches.
Yeah, I mean, she's heavily influenced by her father, okay? And Ric Flair has gone on record that he's not happy with the way that she's been booked.
Fans ain't been happy how the way she's been booked.
No, that's true. And you know what I mean? Like, she shouldn't have been booked in tag team matches. She's not a tag team wrestler. She's a singles wrestler. Her dad was a singles wrestler. It's like seeing Flair and Arn Anderson going against Doom. Okay? It just doesn't work. Doesn't work. Flair is a tag team wrestler. Just doesn't work. Not after him being heavyweight champion. And the same thing goes for Charlotte. She's a women's champion. It doesn't work putting her in a tag team match. And now you don't have to do it because she's held that belt and she's held all the women's belts. She's done everything she's going to do here in WWE. That's why I think she leaves.
But let's be honest. If Charlotte were to leave, she has to look forward to working with Britt Baker. Britt is awesome. Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb, essentially. And that's really, keeps here in the ring with Jade Cargill or Red Velvet, Big Swole.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think she would, you know, um, on the side note, before we get too much off topic, that rumor has it that Jordan Grace is going to go to WWE,
Oh, really?
and Mako Satomura's um vignette with NXT UK, Jordan Grace was featured highly in it. I seen it. She was featured highly in it.
Oh,
Did you watch that match
I,
between Mako and Kaylee Ray? Did you watch that match?
no. I
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest. I don't watch UK. Um, and
Okay.
I. It's only because there's so much wrestling on. You know,
Yeah.
it's like an after. Here's UK and Impact are like an afterthought for me. You know, like I'm not paying $4.99 a month to watch NWA either. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Not when it was free on YouTube. That's the one thing that's pissed me off about that. And I understand that Billy Corrigan's got to try to make some of his money back that he's lost.
Yeah.
But signing a deal with Fight TV and making it a subscription base, and all I get is the NWA, no, it just doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um, but like you said, not to get off topic, but I mean, if we're talking about the NWA, that title is going to be going to Camille. Okay?
Oh yeah.
They're pushing Camille to the moon. She
Yeah.
reminds me of China,
I agree.
but better looking. Um,
Technically better looking.
and, her work rate is in question there because she hasn't really had that match that she had with Thunder Rosa. I mean, let's be honest, okay? Um, they booked that match completely wrong. Um, if I would have booked it, I would have capitalized on the fact that they just came off that huge match with Britt Baker.
Yeah.
I would have had Britt Baker interfere because Thunder Rosa is not going to be sticking around in the NWA. She's going to AEW.
Yeah.
And there's not a damn thing Billy Corrigan can do about it. That's the problem with letting your stars work other shows. You know what I mean? And
They kind of work territory days almost. That's what they're trying to do
mhm,
between Impact, AEW, and NWA. Do like the territory days.
yeah. So, but we got off topic there. So I mean,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So that's where I see that going. I see Rhea Ripley winning, and then
Me too.
holding on the belt until Becky Lynch comes back, and that belt is rightly Becky Lynch's anyway, because she gave it up. So, Logan Matthew Berry says, speaking of Kofi, I seen a video today of Triple H calling Kofi out about the accent. I did see the video. I think Triple H was just trying to be funny. And
I remember that in the Usos that called him out on it too. Went to Jamaica.
yeah, um, so I think it's funny, but I think Apollo is going to be in that same boat down the road. So now we come to the main event, triple threat for the Universal title: Daniel Bryan versus Edge versus Roman Reigns. I will let you go first.
No, we skipped a match. We didn't call the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Oh, I don't have that listed on there. Okay.
Yeah. With
So
Logan Paul somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, I'll start. If given the opportunity and enough time, this has the opportunity to steal the show. They haven't been using Sami Zayn the right way. I would love to see them put the mask back on him and him come as El Generico. And All right, Logan. Have a good night, buddy. I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Um, so, if given enough time on the show, but they're not going to have enough time. I don't know if you've seen any of their PWG matches or their Ring of Honor matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That ladder match that they
Is that-
had in Ring of Honor. Holy shit.
Yeah, I thought he died. And that's how I got into Ring of Honor between with El Generico, between El Generico against Chris Hero and El Generico against Kevin Steen. That's what made me watch Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
That's what made me stop. Like, what am I watching right now? Unreal.
Yeah, so I just don't like the way it seems like these guys are attached at the hip together. You know what I mean? Like they're always going to be rivals or they're always going to be tag team partners. You know what I mean? Like or they're always going to be together. And I realize they're best friends in real life. Okay, that's fine. And they're both Canadian, I think, right? Aren't they both Canadian?
Yep.
Okay.
French Canadian.
Yeah. So, but how does Logan Paul fit into this? Because that came out of left field. You know what I mean? Did you see the vignette thing where he got locked out of the Logan Paul's gym?
No.
So Sami Zayn showed up at Logan Paul's gym with his camera crew, and he says, "Well," he goes, "You guys are." He's in there sparring with his brother. All right, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll get in there and I'll spar with you and stuff like that and whatever." He goes, "Let me go get my gear." And when he goes out the door, they locked him out of the thing. It was funny, you know. And then the guard came out and said, "Who are you again?" He goes, "Oh, I was just in there five seconds ago." And he goes, "I don't remember seeing you." So it was a little funny thing. I just don't understand where he fits in, you know, to that.
He doesn't such short notice, and I'm not a fan of Logan Paul. Never been a fan, of him per se, but reason why I'm not excited about this match because we're not going to get that PWG match. We're not going to get that Ring of Honor match. Now these guys are older now, but they trust each other with their bodies. They say they're best friends, and that's how I feel with Cesaro and Seth Rollins. They know each other very well. They're going to do some things, but I'm not sure if powers that be will let them totally open up the playbook. Like I would love to see Sammy take a Steenizer, and I would love to see Kevin Owens take a brain buster, but they're not going to do that. Just not in their stage of their careers. They're not doing stuff like that. But, Logan Paul, I got a feeling that Sammy's going to win with Logan Paul's interference. And then it's going to set up like a one-on-one match between Logan Paul and Kevin Owens at some point in time.
Yeah, which I wish they wouldn't do. I've gone on record as saying that I don't like it when celebrities get involved with wrestling. And I understand why they do it, okay? I understand why the companies do it. I think WCW's downfall when Jay Leno wrestled. And if I remember correctly, that was after the Karl Malone thing.
Yeah.
Well, Karl Malone is an athlete, okay? And that dude busted his ass to get, he was already in shape, but, get in ring shape.
Yeah.
I just don't like it when the celebrities get involved, and then they're, a la Bad Bunny.
So I have a question. Why won't they call David Arquette? Do you think they would? because he's had quite a few indie matches. I didn't get a chance to see his documentary, but David Arquette, he's been wrestling in the indies. You know, he's done some deathmatch stuff. He almost died not too long ago. Why not? If you're gonna go with the celebrity, at least get someone like David Arquette who actually was a world champion, whether we like it or not,
Yeah.
in WCW. You know, if you're gonna go for a celebrity, get at least go like David Arquette or Stephen Amell.
Yeah. And I mentioned that on one of my other shows that if you're going to have somebody in there, you know, Stephen Amell is a good example. This guy did most of his stunts on a show, and he's doing a wrestling show too, where he's playing a independent wrestler.
Wow!
I can't remember what network it's on though, but he is playing it. I think the reason why they're staying away from David Arquette is because of that stigma that when he won the WCW belt. But I think the guy went out and proved himself. Almost died in that death match, which he should have never been in to begin with.
I saw that spot too. I saw that.
Oh
that
my
clip.
God! It was terrible.
It was like,
Yeah. He should have never been put in that spot to do those matches. And the stuff he was doing with RJ City was funny.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And it put RJ City on the match map because. And have you watched The Bump at all?
Every now and then.
RJ City's a regular character on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, as goofy as he is, he's another guy. You know what I mean? Like I'll put him up there with Zack Ryder. Is he took social media and he's using social media as his partner. You know what I mean? For example, with doing those coffee things in your underwear, although I think that's stupid, but he's getting his name out there. You know what I mean? Nobody needs to see the guy in his underwear. And the fact that he has people on there and then they're in their underwear too, it's just a little weird. But he's using social media to his advantage.
Absolutely.
So anyways, we got off topic there. So
the main event.
Daniel Bryan versus Edge versus Roman Reigns. What are you thinking on this?
So, initially when they added Daniel Bryan to the match, I'm like, okay, he's going to be the fall guy. Okay, he's going to be the fall guy, But now that I'm thinking about it, this might be a shock. I have Daniel Bryan winning. I have Daniel Bryan winning. I'm not sure who's going to take the pin, but I have Daniel Bryan winning. Roman is going to go ballistic. He's going to go on this. He's a tribal chief. He's going to go on a warpath to get that title back. Then, Jimmy Uso, he's ready to come back any day now. So I could picture a storyline between Jimmy comes back, was like, hey, you were the head of the table. I can't look up to you. You lost the title. How am I supposed to look up to you? And he's fighting. Not only does he have to fight to get the title back, but he has to fight to be the tribal chief. He has to fight to keep that hold on his cousins. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, Daniel Bryan tells Edge, listen, you deserve better than this. Let me give you a shot. Me and you one-on-one. If we get like a dream match. Daniel Bryan, Edge. Main event, SummerSlam, whatever the case may be. Daniel Bryan loses it, to Edge. And then there's more opportunities for dream matches. We could see Edge and AJ. We could see maybe Edge and Orton, and Orton could get his 17th reign. Even though that'd be the ultimate middle finger to Edge, if Orton was to get the title off him somehow. But, I just think of ways they can go. But that where Roman is right now with that tribal chief thing, it's so good that he doesn't need the title per se. and he can use that to propel him the right way. As long as he's with Heyman, I think they'll be okay. Um, Daniel Bryan. I don't know if it's true that he's hinting at maybe he wants to retire, maybe he wants to slow down a little bit, but I would love to see Daniel Bryan if he to do his farewell tour. I want to see him go back to Japan. I want to see him being the best of Super Juniors or a New Japan Cup or
Hmm.
New Japan Strong. Just have just a couple different matches here and there. But
Or
who
even
knows?
go back to ROH for a couple
Oh
matches.
yeah, oh yeah, I agree.
You know.
And oh, him and Gresham for like the pure title or
Oh,
something would be amazing.
oh yeah,
Nice match.
no doubt.
Yeah, something like that. Like, who knows? But I do have Daniel Bryan winning that match, and then Roman will get it later on in the back end.
Yeah, on my other shows, it's funny because when we talked about Royal Rumble, okay,
Mhm.
we both wanted to see Daniel Bryan win. I think if I said, at least I did, I know, okay, because I wanted to see Bryan get that match at Mania, okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm pissed because they added him into the match. I would have rather seen Edge versus Roman Reigns 1-on-1. But on the flip side of it, now that Daniel Bryan is entered into the match, I do see him winning.
Mhm.
Roman doesn't need the belt. They've elevated him, and there's just certain guys out there, okay, that don't need belts.
Right.
Undertaker, one. Um,
Cena.
Cena.
Yeah.
Um, The Rock, when he was wrestling. Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? So I see Daniel Bryan winning. I see Edge, like you said, being pissed because he won the Royal Rumble and deserved that one-on-one match with the champion.
Hmm.
I believe Edge takes the fall. We
Okay.
go into SummerSlam with Daniel Bryan versus Edge because I think Bryan will say, "Hey, you were like you said, you were in that one-on-one match, didn't get it, no fault to yours." Edge goes in as the heel because he's a heel,
Oh yeah.
right? He's a heel right now.
I loved heel Edge.
Oh yeah,
Throughout his career, I loved him when he. Oh yeah.
I loved him and Randy Orton when they were together. The
Mhm.
concer- they're the ones that did the concerto, right? They're the ones that did.
No,
Was that
it
Edge
was
and
Christian and Edge that
Edge
can
and
share.
Chris? Okay.
They were rated RKO.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then, and this is where too bad Logan left, but this is where I see Brock Lesnar coming back, and you have Reigns versus Brock Lesnar
Mm.
for the services of Paul Heyman. So, a Paul Heyman on the pole match. I'm just joking on that, but I mean like there's a storyline there that needs to
Yeah.
be capitalized on. Then, okay, there's another storyline that I think you know where I'm going with this is that the Rock,
Goldberg comes back.
yeah,
The
Goldberg,
Spears.
it's Goldberg, the Rock,
Goldberg Reigns battle.
the Rock coming back,
Mm.
and they have that match that deserves to be taking place in front of a sold out crowd, and that's got money written all over it. I can see Vince salivating now.
Yeah. So, the Rock he's filming Black Adam right now, or very close to it, or they might be done by time they.
Yeah, which by the way, let's getting on the top of the Rock. All right, so my wife is not on social media. Okay, she doesn't
Mhm.
believe in it. which God love her.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. Because Twitter's a cesspool.
It is.
Instagram is used for basically porn stars, and
True.
Facebook is not any better. So I got to see. I'm driving her home from having her dentist appointment, and
Okay.
she shows me a picture of the Rock's thighs, and I says, "Let me guess. I don't even have to look at it. All right, they're all veiny." And I said, "And let me guess. You find that attractive?" And she says, "Well. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, all right.
It's the Rock. Come on.
It's the
It's the
Rock."
Rock. Yeah.
I mean, if I was a lady, I would be into him. Okay.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, if I was gay, I would be into him. So, all right. But regardless, there's a storyline there that they need to capitalize on. Whether they're able to do it or not because of The Rock's schedule. And I don't know if you've gotten a chance to watch The Young Rock.
I have. I saw an episode or
What do
two.
you think of it?
Um, like I watch it just as a TV show, as a.
Yeah.
So I try not to put on my Jim Cornette hat because, I have to watch it. Oh, I gotta hear, what did Jim Cornette say? Is this true? Is that true? But I watch it for what it is. I think the character who plays his dad looks spot on, which is kind of creepy. You know, um, you know, it was funny one episode, Macho Man. I guess he's in the bed with somebody and they kick down the door and he's it's funny for what it is. I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but it's all right. You know.
Me being a traditional wrestling fan, and every time there's a wrestling show on, first off, the timeline of it. Okay, Savage was not in the WWE or WWF when Rocky Johnson was in there, so he was not part of that crew. Everything else is pretty well factual. You know what I mean? I don't remember Rocky Johnson smiling that much.
Hmm.
Um, but it is kind of creepy how he looks like him. And the guy they got playing Andre the Giant, other than his English, he looks just like him too. You know what I mean? But and the one episode I saw was Iron Sheik was sitting there talking to um, Chief Maivia's wife, who's the promoter, and she gives him a list of words that he can't say. You know, that's not Sheik back then. That's Sheik now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's off his rocker. So, but you're right. It is what it is. It's a TV show, and they've got to add things in there that can't be factual and that. But I don't see the show lasting. I really don't.
I agree.
Um, but so yes, I mean, so that's how I would book the main event. Um,
Yeah.
Lesnar's going to eventually come back, and then if Rock's able to do it, we can get Rock versus Roman for the head of the table spot.
Yeah, I think we need that. I think the culture, the wrestling fan, I think we need that. The wrestling fans need it, and deep down, they know we need it too. I mean, yeah,
I mean, because let's be honest, Roman Reigns is not the head of the table. The Rock is.
right.
The difference between the two of them is Roman's wrestling and The Rock isn't. The Rock's the one that's making the most money,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much what it's all about. And he's older. Um,
You think The Rock wins?
no, I think he passes the torch.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think he passes the torch because Rock doesn't need to win. Roman does.
Yeah.
Because Roman's going to be the one sticking around. And The Rock's going to go off and do his movies. It'd be kind of interesting to see. Speaking of Black Adam, Black Adam is, if I remember correctly, he's the villain to Shazam, correct?
Yeah. He's more like an anti-villain per se. Like he's so pro his country and he's so pro his country that he doesn't matter good or evil. You come to his country or you mess with his people, he has to take you out. So he's been known as a villain of Shazam, but his methods aren't necessarily villainous. You know, they're not necessarily nefarious or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, but he is the.
He reminds me of like the like Sinestro with Green Lantern.
Yep.
You know, so they're just on different sides of the spectrum. That's all.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's that. So that's WrestleMania. Overall, which night are you looking forward to the most? Night 1 or night 2?
Night one, like I said, that Sasha and Bianca match, and then that Jewel and Lashley match. That's the I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
I think they have to. I just hope that the pacing is good. That the matches are good. That the pacing is good. That they're not just kind of rushing spots. Hopefully everybody has enough time to do their thing. I'm hoping for some surprises. Like, do you think you're gonna do any surprises or any?
I'd like to see Lesnar show up. Although it's not really a surprise, it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to eventually show up, whether it's at Mania or over. It's funny. Did you see that rumor that Daniel Bryan was going in the Hall of Fame this year?
No.
Yeah, there was a rumor out there that he was going in the Hall of
Wow.
Fame. So I don't think he's long for WWE. I think he's going to do that farewell tour.
Okay.
But as far as other than Lesnar showing up, who else is out there that you can add a shock value?
Me, I would say Kairi Sane with the whole boat thing, and she comes out with Asuka. Even though I don't know if it's likely because of COVID and everything, but it would be nice to see Kairi Sane come back with the whole boat thing and come out with Asuka. They do like a little entrance together and kind of sail. Asuka could sail off with Kairi after she drops the title. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know.
I thought that, and this is going out on a limb, but that ominous woman that's on NXT, the Asian that sits in a chair, I thought that was going to be Kairi Singh.
Xia Li.
Yes, Xia Li. But the other one's a worker too. The one that sits in the chair. I can't think of her name though.
What is it?
She's like the god to these two. I don't know who it is though.
Oh, okay. So you
No, I
I
don't.
don't know.
No, I don't. And I thought that was going to be Kairi Singh. To be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't fit her bubbly character. I didn't like her as a heel either.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I do think though that they needed to drop the pirate gimmick, but they didn't need to drop it like that. So
No, I didn't like the way they did Asuka as a heel. Like, I loved Io as a heel because she did some heel work in Lucha Underground.
yeah,
I don't know if you remember that, but yeah, that's how I like Io as
Yeah.
a heel. So.
Oh, Logan Matthew Berry is back. Welcome back, Logan.
Hey,
Um, so, so with WrestleMania being over, where do we go after that?
um, next thing we'll do, like what I hate and love about Mania is the cuts after that. So sometimes I look more to the cuts in April, late April or May, than I do the actual Mania. So I want to know who they're going to keep and who they're not going to keep. I'm looking forward to. I got a feeling that they're going to shake it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I really feel. I feel like they need something fresh. Now the booking may not be fresh, but at least the people in those typical roles are going to change, and I think that's maybe just refreshing enough, you know, to
Oh,
make a change. But I'm really curious to see who they're going to cut.
Logan just messaged that rest in peace DMX.
Oh wow,
Looks like he's finally passed.
wow,
He was on life support for a little bit, wasn't
yeah, yeah. He was in a coma, drug induced coma or something. They brought it back a lot of times. I guess he suffered a lot of heart attacks and stuff.
he? Yeah. So yeah. So that's the one thing I don't like about Aftermania is the cuts because these are guys. Although they're gonna have places to go now.
Yeah.
How can I? How stupid was it that WWE didn't put Andrade under a 30 or a 90-day no compete clause? How stupid was that?
Um, I mean, if I'm WWE, I'm very selective with who I will put that clause on because he goes to AEW. What he's gonna do there is not gonna make me scared. If I'm Vince, look how they're booking Rusev or Mito, and look how they're booking some of the other guys. So I'm not. Okay. He's gonna go for Darby Allin's title. He's gonna go wrestle Nick Aldis for Sweet Charlotte. I mean, he's not gonna get Kenny Omega's title. He goes to Impact. Okay, our worst day on Raw and SmackDown is still better than their best day on Twitch or Access. So
True.
for WWE, I guess they're at the point now where it's like it's Andrade we're talking about here.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
I just think it was. I just think it was poor contract management by, you know, by WWE because he couldn't made a he couldn't make a big splash. I think he's waiting too long.
Yeah.
He's gotten to the point where he's being forgotten.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna make a move, make a move. If you're gonna show up on NWA and challenge Nick Aldis, yeah, I would love to see that match. I think Aldis needs to. I think Billy Corrigan made the worst mistake of his life by not having Nick Aldis appear on AEW
I agree. Oh yeah, I agree.
because um, I had honestly forgotten about the NWA and Nick Aldis.
Well, Nick and Cody had a match, but that was so long
Yeah,
ago.
but that was for NWA though.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I think Cody was still in Ring of Honor at the time. I think, if I remember correctly.
When it comes to Andrade, I really want him to go to Ring of Honor to help bolster Los Ingobernables. So him and Roosh, Dragon Lee, and the other person they have there, and really.
Well, Kenny King is in
And,
there too. Kenny
oh,
King.
Kenny King has to go. If he's not Mexican, he, he
Okay,
I, yeah. So kick Kenny King out, put Andrade in, La
uh,
Sombra.
I'll agree with you. But
Yeah,
then they got that. Then they got uh, what is it? Dragon Lee's and Roosh's dad.
yeah,
He's wrestling in there. He's in pretty damn good shape for his age.
yeah.
I was really
So
I was really surprised that Roosh didn't drop the belt to Jay Lethal.
Yeah. Was that what you talking about at the anniversary show?
No, this was that final. Was it final? Yeah, no, yeah, the 9th anniversary. Yeah.
Like, did I watch that match? I can't remember. Um, but I think they're trying to reward Roosh for not signing with WWE. Even though, no, listen, Andrade told Roosh not to come to WWE. Instead, he went to Ring of Honor. So, but with that being said, he can't go back to CMLL. CMLL was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
So there's some interesting things there, but um,
Can he?
yeah.
Do you think? Andrade could come back after losing the mask? Do you think he can pull that off like Rey Mysterio did?
It's been so long since he's been without the mask, so I don't see why not.
Yeah.
'Cause it's been what, almost 4 years.
That's me being a traditional wrestling fan and really paying attention to the culture of lucha libre,
You too.
knowing that the mask is very important to them down there. They should have never took the mask off Ray, and they never should have took it off of Andrade.
Like what surprised me was Escobar in NXT,
Yeah.
Hijo de Fantasma. I'm surprised he took off his damn mask. Like I'm like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
And
WWE is just showing that they have no respect for the lucha libre culture. I just
now, is that WWE's fault or is that their fault? Hey, they signed a contract.
yeah. Well, I guess. I mean,
'Cause you got Lucha House Party. They're keeping theirs on, but then you got somebody like Escobar,
yeah.
you know,
Which
or
by,
hell, like yeah,
which by the way, the Escobar versus I can't think of the other guy's name.
Devlin.
Devlin. Yeah. It was phenomenal. Phenomenal match.
That was a great match.
Yeah, I did watch that before we went on the air. Devlin took a sick bump through that chair
Yeah.
or through that ladder.
Yeah.
He was busted up too. So,
hmm Now they have two identical cruiserweight titles. So what are they going to do?
yeah. I really thought that they were going to give that to Devlin, and here's the reason why. Because I think NXT, the U.S. side, I think they have too many belts down there. I really do. Why not put it on UK?
The UK has the UK tag titles, the UK world title, and that's it.
That's it. NXT has the world title, the North American belt, the tag belts, the women's tag belts,
Now,
and the women's belt. You don't need the cruiserweight belt on that show. And it's not
True.
It's not defended on 205 Live anymore.
oh wow,
So that's just
yeah, I haven't seen
that's just
five in a while.
no. I don't watch it. It's too much wrestling.
But I agree. Um,
And
I'm
it-
really curious to see what they're going to do with as far as future booking. I have no idea. Some of the stuff I can't call.
Yeah.
And we go from there. So who do you think will get cut? Who do you think they'll release?
Aleister Black,
Oh, you think they will release them?
Buddy Murphy,
All right.
Otis.
Wow, Otis.
Chad Gable.
Wow.
Chad Gable. He's where did I see it? He's friends with somebody in AEW, and that person said, "Don't be too surprised if you don't see him come the AEW.
And I'm very, very high on Chad Gable. I think he's amazing.
I think he could have been the next Kurt Angle, to be honest with you.
I was thinking Benoit. I like his technical skills, but definitely more Angle than anything. But I definitely saw a little Benoit in him too, with his suplexes and his technical stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to welcome in Bob173. Thanks for joining, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right.
Anything else you want to talk about?
That's really about it. I'm interested to see who's going to get cut. I mean, I wonder, and I'm curious to know how this whole Peacock thing is going to work in terms of content. Is WWE going to change up the content because they know it's going to Peacock, where they stay kind of where we at now, where they go more attitude era, or where they stay where they're at now? I'm curious to know. I mean,
Okay.
so many question marks in WWE.
So let's talk. We'll talk about this. Will be the final topic. We'll talk about the Peacock Network. I have a big problem with it, and that being that they have edited. They're being very selective on what they put on that network.
True.
Okay. So, I'll use an example. Okay. And being it in today's society, being the way it is, okay, they removed Piper wearing half black face. Okay. Yes, I agree with that. I agree that they should have removed that because, one, even back then it was in poor taste. And I'm really surprised that Bad News Brown went for that because he was very, very into his gimmick.
Yeah.
And he was a very proud black man. And I'm surprised that he went for that. I don't see any of the Attitude Era stuff being put on there because most of it was let's say bad. And I'm really not happy with the fact that the old school stuff isn't on there. So I'm seriously thinking about canceling it because they don't have enough content on there for me to justify the $9.99 a month, because the $9.99 a month is what I went with the premium, and the only other shows that are on there is The Office, but I own all the DVDs, so I don't need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
So with me, when I first heard about it, I canceled my WWE subscription because I didn't trust the process. There's always glitching, and for me the network worked spotty as it is. So I've had some issues with the network, with connection issues and stuff like that, and playbacks and stuff like that. So for me, I'm like, okay, for me, I'm gonna read the writings on the wall. I'm gonna cancel, wait for them to fully migrate, and once Peacock itself gets more content that I like to watch, then fine, I'll go back and then I'll do it. So I haven't heard good reviews. I was watching NXT on USA, but as I'm talking to people on Peacock, you can't go back, you can't rewind, you can't go back, you can't do any of those things, and those are key content. Especially me having kids, and I'm trying to catch something that I missed. And now that I'm doing more shows and doing more recaps and stuff, I need to see these things. I need to know these things.
Yeah,
so
it's not fan friendly, and I'd be interested to see after Mania how many people drop it, because because of that reason that you can't go back. You can go back and watch the show, you just can't pause it. You know what I mean? You can't rewind it, and I just I'm not happy. I'm not happy with it. Um, I had talked about possibly stop covering WWE and sticking strictly to AEW and New Japan
Okay.
because New Japan is running enough shows right now. See, the disadvantage for New
Yeah.
Japan is they don't run house shows. They
No.
don't. They don't do house shows over in Japan, and their schedule is crazy. You know, where they're wrestling
Mm-hmm.
every 2 nights. You know, they did it like they're doing it old school style.
What's the only reason why I'm watching WWE is because the last times with AEW, I can't watch the tag matches. I like a little bit more order in my tag matches, and and I'm just not getting it. And then some of the characters in like Michael Nakazawa, you know,
Yeah.
I try to get into him. Like, come on, you know, I can watch some of the stuff with my kids and some of the stuff that Max Caster raps about. I'm like, you know what? I should explain to my 12-year-old what certain things are,
Yeah.
even though she's at the age where we need to have a talk. But still,
Yeah.
it's like, come on, like I'm
Yeah,
not ready to tell her what certain.
I found that too because my daughter's 13, and
Mhm.
I would much rather watch WWE than AEW. Here's the problem with AEW: they've got too many factions. Um,
Yeah, they try to get Japan with that thing. So everybody has to be linked up with somebody.
yeah, and then Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, he's not the same Kenny Omega as he was in Japan. He's not the cleaner.
Oh, 10 times. Mm-mm.
He's not the best bout machine anymore. You know.
No.
Although I would love to see a match between him and Buddy Murphy. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know.
So, and Buddy Murphy, he's going to get the 90-day compete, no compete.
Oh no doubt.
Alistair will get the 90-day. Alistair get the 90-day. Ricochet, if they decide to cut him, he'll get the 90-day.
Ricochet will go back to Japan. You know.
He needs to. If they could use him, especially with Hiromu out, he could use him in in certain divisions.
Well, how about pushing him to the moon and put him in a match with Osprey?
For the Rev Pro title, yeah.
Well, you don't want him to go for the IWGP?
No, not for the. If I'm Ricochet, I would go around getting all the I hate to say like the secondary belts. So I will go for the Never Open.
Mm-hmm.
I will go for the X Division title. I would love to see him and Ace Austin. I will go for that. I will go for the TNT title. And I will go for. I would love to see him Leo Rush for the MLW secondary title.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the title Leo Rush had.
The middleweight.
So if I'm Ricochet, I'm doing that. Yeah. Yeah. I would do something like that, but he would break cuz yeah, I would do that.
Well, if he were to go back to Japan, he's not going to go for the Rev Pro belt because he's not going to be in Rev Pro.
England.
He's going to be in Japan, and he should be there. If those guys over in Japan were smart, they would lock him up. The same way they did to Jay White. Because Jay White was rumored to leave.
Yep.
And I'm glad he didn't because WWE wouldn't know what to do with him.
Right.
And neither would AEW.
I agree.
So.
And I would also like to see Ricochet go to a DDT. Or
Yeah.
I like to see go to Dragon.
He was in Dragon Gate for a little bit. He was in Dragon USA, Dragon Gate USA, and Dragon Gate Japan for a little bit. Matter of fact, he was a top star in Dragon Gate Japan. Which, by the way, I would love to see. You know who I would love to see challenge for the IWGP belt is SEMA. I would love to see SEMA in there, or even having SEMA come in to AEW. Because I mean, all right. So Kenny Omega's winning the Impact belt. That's a foregone conclusion. So he's going to have
Absolutely.
the AAA belt, the Impact belt, and the AEW belt. I think that's when the invasion kicks into high gear. I really do. I think that's what they're holding off. That's what they're holding off for. Is for him to win that Impact belt.
So I could definitely see Sonata come over. I think all the guys from Japan that usually come to the States when they travel with the Ring of Honor, like Sonata, I think Minoru Suzuki, even though he's up there in age, I think he would be great on AEW. I can see
Shingo.
people, guys like. I love Shingo Takagi.
Oh, you don't even.
I
He just, you know how he has completely evolved his character. I remember when I saw him live.
Oh wow.
He was in a tag team match with SEMA in Ring of Honor, and he was a phenomenal worker back then. This guy is just, he's slimmed himself down. He's improved his work, and he is made for that Japanese style.
Yeah.
And so is Great Khan, too.
I like him with his ring gear, but I like him with his entrance gear. But that ring gear comes on, I see that ponytail, I'm like,
Well, that's
cut it.
well. They did you see where he got wrapped up in the rope with his hair?
Yeah.
And then what is it? What was that guy? Yanu. Is it
Toro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he cut it.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the next night he came out with what looked like a Samoan afro type thing. But yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm gonna end up canceling the network, just like you, and then because I have other ways that I can watch the pay-per-view, and we won't get into that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and waiting till they get all the content on there.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh no, I'm good. Thanks for having me on. So no, this has been fun.
All right. Well, you got some plugs. You want to plug?
Yeah, just continue to follow me on most social media at Husky Hero 716. Also on Facebook, a Husky Heroes and Healthy Heroines Assemble. It's a Facebook page. And also on Twitch, got a couple things lined up. So I'm working on my Streamlabs and all that set up. So once again, Husky Hero 716. And don't forget, please follow the Wrestling Angle 1. He needs 7 more, followers to get to 50. Let's get it going. And look forward to talking with everybody soon. And let's have a good Mania, hopefully.
And just on a side note, guys, if you get a chance, listen to Gary's podcast on his review of Justice League Snyder's Cut. He is right on with spot on with his review of it. And if you haven't seen the movie, go see it first before you get the review, because there's some spoilers. And if you have 4 hours of your time and you got 4 hours of your time that you can kill, and you don't have kids and all that other type of stuff, good luck. But go listen to his review, and you can do that on any place you get your podcast. Spotify, I got it on Spotify. So
Spotify, Podbean, Anchor, Stitcher, whatever they have going on these days.
Is it on the Apple Podcast too?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, I think I looked for it, and couldn't find it, but you can listen to it on Spotify. So
Okay.
do me a favor, Gary. Just stay on the line, okay?
Sure. Oh yeah.
All right, and then hold on. Okay, guys, I appreciate everybody joining me tonight. Logan Matthew Berry, Doe Slayer. Doe Slayer, those of you that don't know, he is a huge streamer with Call of the Wild. It's a video game. Um, and Bob173. I appreciate you joining. And I just got a new follower, TJ Wolf. Thank you so much. And I just got another follow from Johnny Prazrangan. I appreciate that. Thank you for following me on Twitch, or not Twitch. Thank you for following me on Facebook. If you guys have a chance, check out my previous shows on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/thewrestlingangle1. You won't be disappointed, I guarantee it. My first couple shows were a little bit rough, I'm not going to lie, but I've been doing this for about 3 months now, and I think I got a pretty good grasp on the wrestling business. So I've been watching it since '84, and I think you won't be disappointed. So I appreciate everybody joining me. I'm not gonna put out my socials because everything is on my stream ending. So check me out on my socials, and you guys have a good night. Just hold on one second, Gary.